Viva is a charity founded just over 20 years ago with the aim to end animal suffering and protect the environment. Their roadshow at the Guildhall in Portsmouth was seeking to inspire more people to become vegan, so not eating meat, dairy or fish or using animal products. Their campaigns manager Justin Kurzweil said their audience is very inclusive.
But we actually find that most people who come aren't necessarily vegan. We've actually get roughly about 30% vegan, 30% vegetarian and 30% meat eaters. So we get a lot of people who are interested, because one of the biggest changes is actually with people looking to cut down on the consumption of meat. We say how easy it is to go vegan. That's all the food here. Everything here is vegan. People think eating vegan is eating carrot sticks, which of course partly is, but you can have vegan cheeses, vegan pizzas, vegan pies.
They first came to Portsmouth in 2007, and this is their 36th roadshow in the last 10 years.
We've had some of the best response in Portsmouth, and what's interesting about Portsmouth is there's been a real shift in the last few years, because I've got family down this way and they haven't, is that there's been a shift of interest in sort of vegetarian and veganism, with shops opening up, pure vegan shop in Southsea called Wild Thyme, and so different as a Rice Up in Southampton. So there's a real change and interest in this. So we thought we'd become as part of the celebration of veganism that's growing in this area.
Cookery demonstrator, Viva Food and Cookery Coordinator Jane Easton wrote and released a Viva cookbook last September and is responsible for the online Viva Vegan Recipe Club. Jane said people don't need to be put off a vegetarian or vegan choice by concern for a lack of protein.
There is protein in just about every food. Some foods just happen to have more, but if you eat a well-balanced diet, and it's not difficult to do with being a vegan, so if you get your food, think about pulses, they're one of the staples around the world, so beans, peas and lentils are very high in protein and iron, and things like tofu, beans, nuts, seeds, you'll get plenty of protein that way.
You're not concerned that you're missing out on meat or anything like that, proteins?
As long as you're careful with what you eat, it's fine, because if you eat like your chickpeas and yada yada, then there's other things in there that you can get your protein and omegas from.
No, ask a gorilla where he gets his protein from.
Any big animal, herbaceous animal.
Ask an elephant.
There's actually an awful lot of very sound medical evidence around now about, if you look at actually the standard Western diet, that's the thing that's causing heart disease, lots of cancer, diabetes, obesity. We have an epidemic of all these diseases. They're called the diseases of affluence. And actually switching to a plant-based diet means that you're much more likely to avoid these kind of things.
Additional to offering recipe and food ideas, Viva undertake research and studies that implore to people's emotions.
Britain is renowned as a nation of animal lovers, and we would go out on the street and we rescue a lamb if we saw a lamb in the street. But what we're saying is so easy actually to save lots of animals. In fact, the average Brit eats 11,047 animals in a lifetime. But you turn that on its head, it's only positive, because whatever age you change, going vegetarian, going vegan, you start saving animals. So that's our important message. It's really easy to go vegan.
This is Shan Robins for Solent News Now.